Welcome to Course 4, Foundation, Certified Supply Chain Professional, CSCP, course, by SPAO Academy. Topic 3, Sourcing Products and Services, Section 4, Make versus Buy Analysis, Lesson 2, Factors Influencing Make or Buy Decisions. Factors influencing make or buy decisions. Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we learned that a make or buy decision is essentially a choice between producing a product or service yourself, making, or purchasing it from an external supplier, buying. But how do companies actually make this choice? It's rarely a simple yes or no. Managers have to weigh several different factors. Think of it like balancing on a seesaw. You have to consider the weight of different pros and cons before making a decision. In this lesson, we will explore the four main categories of factors that influence this critical decision: cost considerations, quality and capability, volume and demand, capacity and supply chain strategy. 1. Cost considerations. For many businesses, this is the first place they look. The fundamental question is, which option is cheaper? To answer this, a company performs a cost analysis. This involves comparing the total cost of making an item versus the purchase price from a supplier. Costs of making. This isn't just the cost of the raw materials. It includes a variety of direct and indirect expenses. Direct materials, the actual components that go into the product. Direct labor, the wages paid to the workers who assemble the product. Overhead costs. These are the indirect costs of running the factory, such as the electricity for the machinery, the factory rent, the salary of the factory manager, and the depreciation, wear and tear, on the equipment. Investment in equipment, the upfront cost of buying the machinery needed to start production. Costs of buying. This is simpler on the surface, but also has hidden elements. Purchase price, the price the supplier charges per unit. Transaction costs, the costs associated with finding a supplier, negotiating a contract, and managing the relationship. Logistics costs, the cost of shipping, transportation, and receiving the goods. Inspection costs, the cost of checking the incoming goods to ensure they meet quality standards. Beginner's tip: it's a common mistake to only compare the direct manufacturing cost to the supplier's price. A thorough analysis always includes the hidden costs, like overhead and logistics. 2. Quality and capability. Sometimes, cost isn't the most important factor. A company must ask, can we make it as well as a specialist can? Core competency. A business might choose to make an item if the production process is a core part of its business and its identity. For example, a high-end bakery will make its own sourdough bread from scratch because that is its specialty and the reason customers come to them. 2. Buy the bread would be to lose their unique selling point. Specialized expertise. Other times, a company might choose to buy because the supplier is simply better at it. A car manufacturer, for instance, is an expert at designing engines and chassis, but it might buy the tires from a company like Michelin or Goodyear, whose entire business focus is on making high-quality tires. The supplier has better technology, more experience, and can achieve a level of quality the car company couldn't match on its own. Proprietary technology. If a product requires a secret formula or a patented technology, a company will almost certainly choose to make it in-house to protect its intellectual property from competitors. 3. Volume and demand. How much you need and how consistently you need it plays a huge role. Stable, high volume. If a company needs a very large and predictable number of units, like a car manufacturer needing millions of spark plugs, it might be cheaper to set up its own production line, make. The high volume justifies the investment in machinery. Unstable, low volume. If demand is uncertain, seasonal, or just in small quantities, it's usually too risky to invest in expensive equipment. In this case, buying from a flexible supplier is the smarter choice. The supplier takes on the risk of demand fluctuations. 4. Capacity and supply chain strategy. This factor looks at the bigger picture and the company's long-term goals. Available capacity. Does the company have the factory space, the right equipment, and available workers to produce this new item? If its factories are already running at 100% capacity, it may be forced to buy because it simply doesn't have the room to make. Conversely, if a factory has unused capacity and idle workers, making the item can be a great way to absorb those fixed costs. Supply chain control. Making a product gives a company total control over its supply chain. It doesn't have to worry about a supplier going out of business, raising prices suddenly, or failing to deliver on time. This is known as vertical integration. However, this comes with the responsibility of managing all those operations. Supplier relationships. Buying allows a company to build strong partnerships with suppliers. These suppliers might offer innovation, flexibility, and economies of scale that the buying company could never achieve on its own. A good supplier can be a valuable partner. Summary. In this lesson, we learned that the make or buy decision is a multidimensional analysis. While cost is a critical starting point, it must be weighed against the company's available capacity, its desire to protect intellectual property, the strategic importance of the item, and the reliability of the external supply market. A smart decision balances these factors to support the company's long-term goals. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. If you want to learn more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your like means the world to us and helps this channel grow so we can continue bringing you great content. Thanks again, and see you on the next video.